me at the Bruce County Museum and Cultural Center, and I'm here with Randy Schnarr. Randy was the lead in putting together our Riding the Rails exhibit, which we just opened this summer. And you want to tell us how this all came to be?
I just thought it'd be nice to tell more of the story of the history of trains for Bruce County. Back in 1852, before the trains came, if you went to Toronto, it was going to take you a week to go down and back. After they came here, you could go down in a day and back. So it was a great opportunity for people to travel and for business, because they could now get raw materials and ship their finished products. We have over 8,000 hours in this project, getting it into the museum, and we're still working on it. It started out with getting two key people, Paul Maurer and Craig Dolbeer, who were instrumental in doing structural and electronics controls. Beyond that, we had people who came from that I never heard of, met before, and they came out to be a part of this, and quite frankly, they made it happen. Over 30 people were involved.
It's an amazing small community of people. It's model train guys and all of the enthusiasts, right?
It was, and it's, you know, when you think of model train guys, I think about a third of the people involved were model train people.
Oh, wow.
All the rest just had a general interest and wanted to be a part of it.
That's nice. You guys have done a phenomenal job. This train is interactive. It's great for kids. They can come and be the conductor of the toy portion. As I've learned, there's a difference between a toy train and a model train.
Yes, so true.
And then the model, it runs when we have you folks on hand.
We now have a camera on the train, so if you'd be standing at the end of the passenger car looking forward, and it shows on a video, on a television set here. So
that's pretty cool.
It is. What's really relevant to people coming here to see is that our trains are running through 5 towns here in Bruce County on the Southampton sub of Canadian National Railway. And we're starting with Mildmay in the springtime. We go around the other side into Walkerton in late winter, up a helix in the far end, and we come down through Dunkeld, Cargill, Pinkerton, just small little window boxes there, into Paisley here, and Paisley is wintertime. Around Paisley, next, of course, you go to Port Elgin, it's autumn, and then finally into Southampton, summertime. So we're going from Palmerston, effectively, which is a major hub in southern Ontario, to Southampton. Of course, the train goes back to Palmerston then. Just want to tell you a little bit about how this exhibit came together. As a member of the Propeller Club here in Southampton, Marine Focus, I was impressed with the marine heritage that we have. But as a model railroader and a man of railway interest, I'm going, where are the trains? They were pretty important here in Bruce County. So I went to put together an idea, came to the Bruce County Museum and asked them if they would be interested. They said yes, how much? I gave them a price, and they said, sounds good to us, let's go. So it all started with putting all the drawings together, basically figuring out what we need, all the elements to make the project come together. I had to have 2 other people, key people, Paul Maurer, because Paul Maurer is a great mechanical guy in solving problems, and he has a workshop, and Craig Dolbeer, who does electronics for the Bruce County Museum. With those 2 on side, they both agreed to come. I don't think they realized what they were getting into, but they came on board, and we went ahead then. From that point, we did presentations to all the people, all the model railway friends that I knew, and I said, we'll meet here at the museum, and I went through a presentation to tell them about all the elements that we were going through. Now, we needed research, we needed model builders, we needed people to do wiring, people to do construction work, and basically people to put it all back together and get it in here. So it's amazing the number of people that they first showed up. We had about 12 people that came to the initial meeting here at the museum. But once word got out, we had more and more people come. By the time we finished the project, over 30 people were involved, contributing. And it was amazing because there were people, a fellow right here in Southampton, Mike McCullough, was a master model railroader. I never knew him. He came out and he was a major contributor to this project. We had people from Durham and Owen Sound and Wyerton come all the way here to help build this thing. Master modeler is someone who will take a model and make it look so good that it looks like the real thing. So it's not a toy, it's a model. And when you look at it, you feel like you're right there if you get in close. Yeah, basically, to tell the story about what the trains look like, to relive that experience. And for the most part, we've been able to achieve. If you get right down close and look up close at the right level, you can feel you're there in the exhibit. We've also picked 5 seasons. Well, I know there's only 4, but we picked the 5th season is late winter because it's kind of an interesting scene. But we wanted to show the different scenes along the railway so you could get an idea of what it felt like. When we looked at it, we had fairly high hopes. And I'll have to confess that this project turned out much better than I thought it would. I thought we'd be buying plastic buildings for some of the structures because it would take too much time to actually build them. But through the process, we did research and we got pictures of buildings along the railway, and then we did drawings, architectural drawings of them, and built them stick by stick, so that we've got replications of the actual buildings that were there on the railway. The backdrops were all done with photographs taken on site in season, and then we brought the photographs to Chris Irvine here at the museum, and he stitched them all together and took out the modern elements and put us back into the 1940s. So we have one seamless backdrop, and where we couldn't take pictures of buildings where they were gone, Chris recreated them from photographs. Now we were fortunate, Southampton Station is still here, so we were able to go measure all the windows, heights, and get an idea of what those dimensions were. What is the window size? What was the railway building? So we could take those dimensions and apply them to the draw or the photographs that we had, and then redraw other buildings. So it's kind of reverse engineering those buildings. Making those buildings is, well, with the drawings, one of my jobs in this whole project was to get everybody involved, to buy the materials, and give them the plans, and the coaching on how to get it done. I didn't do that much building myself. I spent all my time just trying to make it right for everybody else. So I would buy, I can buy the window frames. I can buy all those in plastic. I can buy the materials for the siding and in different, I can get it in wood or brick or any different materials, all done in styrene. And then they cut them up and they put them together and fabricate these buildings. Well, we had the research team. We had 3 people on research. That meant coming to the library and going through artifacts, going through old photographs, trying to find pictures of all these buildings, and then going out and talking to people, finding out what the stories were out along the railway. And also, then we had the electronics group. That was really just Craig Dolby. He was figuring out how to do all the circuitry we wanted to make the lights come on when we walk into the museum, to have the train run automatically, to be able to run trains in 3 different modes: direct current, alternating or digital command and control, and then automated with a computer. We've come a long way on that one. That one's not completed yet, by the way, the automated one, but the train will run automatically now when you press the button. We had people making trees, and we had one man making the children's layout. And we have the kids' layout is not a model, it's a toy, but we have a lever you can lift up and the train will run around and the kids will chase it around and have a great time with it. One man, Don Nicholson, put that one together for us, and he had a lot of fun. Not even a model railroad, just interested. So then we had Larry Kerr came over from Owen Sound. He built the wreck, the Hurricane Hazel wreck. There's a little scene there where you peer through and you can see what the wreck was like on that night back in October 1954 when Hurricane Hazel hit. Well, Hurricane Hazel was the worst storm we had. It was the storm that has modeled all of our drainage systems ever since, for communities, that is. The train came in, there was a jigger went ahead of the train to make sure the tracks were all right. He went over the rails fine, but turns out the water had washed away the roadbed, and it couldn't handle the weight of the locomotive. The locomotive toppled over, killed the engineer and the fireman.
Where was that?
That's just right across from the beer store here in Southampton. So it was just, it's interesting. It knocked over the sign for the yard limit, which was the official edge of town for the railway. So, the bell from the wreck was donated to the museum. This museum opened in, I think, in 1950. And the bell from that wreck was in storage here. So we mounted that bell into the exhibit, and you can actually pull a cord and ring that bell. Never been done before.
So can you just describe how you guys figured that out? Like, did you just sit around and kind of brainstorm, or how did this work?
Well, I did an initial sketch of what it should look like, which I had to do for the presentation to get approval. And then we just started building. Initial ideas on how to do it. And I was using 2x10s down the center structure, and Paul said, no, we're going to use engineered beams, which are 30 inches by so much by 20 feet long. And they're amazing. Right? When it came to doing the doors on the end, around the helix and the return end, we were going to do wooden frame doors and realized we could use Lexan panels and just stretch it around. It required custom hardware to do that, but design it and build it. We were able to build just about anything for this thing.
And so, sorry, you can get back to this, but how many hours did you do? Can you just ballpark it for us?
8,000 hours to get it into the museum. Yeah. So
All volunteer. All volunteer.
all volunteer, yeah. We did it on budget, and we bought a lot of materials, but we came in on budget, which was amazing, and there was no money paid to anybody for their work. That's when people volunteer, they wanted to do something. They want to make a difference. They could come and they could work, and we could show them they got something done. By having it all organized and having materials available, everything ready for them to do something, they could do it and feel good about it. I was amazed. They kept coming back because they felt good about it. There's all kinds of model trains around that don't really tell much of us, don't reflect the exact what was. But if I'm living in Paisley or in Mildmay, I'm more interested to come and see my town replicated rather than a model of something else, a model of anything. So it has significance when it represents something real. Hardest thing, I think the electronics is probably the hardest because we're still wrestling with it. But everything else went quite well. Electronics is one of the areas where we ran into hassles. And when I say we built this thing, it didn't all happen the first time. We had to build one of the electronic systems. We used three different systems before we got one that worked to our satisfaction. So it wasn't all that you just do it and it works. A lot of things we end up doing it, well, it could be better, and that's so we change it. The most interesting thing was getting everybody together, getting everybody together to do it.
Like your team.
The fun we had. We had a lot of fun doing it because we were getting results and we had something that was really valid to